4 defenders out, 1 position crumbling, and Deco already knows exactly who fixes it. Today we are getting into something that has been building quietly in the background of Barcelona's season, and now, with the injury situation reaching a genuinely concerning level, it can no longer be ignored. Barcelona have a left-back problem. They have had it for a while, and this summer, Deco and Flick are planning to fix it permanently. The name at the top of that list is Alejandro Grimaldo. And by the time this video is over, you are going to understand exactly why this deal makes so much sense, tactically, financially, and in every other way that matters. But before we get into Grimaldo specifically, before we talk about the numbers, the fee, the contract situation, and what he actually brings to this Barcelona side, we need to talk about the problem itself. Because unless you fully understand how serious Barcelona's defensive situation is right now, you cannot fully appreciate why this signing is not just a good idea, it is a necessity. So let us start there. Let us start with the crisis. Barcelona are currently without 4 defenders. 4. And before you brush that off as just one of those things that happens over the course of a long season, before you tell yourself that injuries are part of football and every team deals with them, I want you to think about the timing. Because the timing of these absences is not random, it is not bad luck, it is a pattern. And patterns tell you something important. Alejandro Balde is injured, again. And here's the thing that should concern every Barcelona fan. This is not the first time Balde has gone down at this exact point in the season. Last year, he was injured around the same period, right as Barcelona were approaching the Champions League semifinals. The club had to adapt, had to reshuffle, had to make do. And now, 12 months later, they are in the exact same position. Same player, same timing, same problem. That is not bad luck. That is a structural vulnerability that has not been addressed. And when a structural vulnerability goes unaddressed, it comes back. Every single time. Jules Kounde is also out. Muscle overload and fatigue. The kind of issues that accumulate over a long, intense season when a player is asked to do too much for too long without adequate rotation. Christensen has been unavailable for months. And Varane, a name that probably has not come up much in your match preview conversations recently, is also injured. 4 defenders, gone, at the most important stage of the season. And this is where Flick's system becomes relevant to the injury conversation. Because Hansi Flick demands an extraordinary amount from his players physically. The pressing intensity, the high defensive line, the constant transitions. This is not a system designed for comfort. It is designed for dominance. But dominance at that level comes at a physical cost. Players burn through energy at a rate that requires genuine quality rotation. Not rotation for the sake of it. Not throwing in a player who is not ready just to give someone else a rest. Real rotation. Where the player coming in is good enough to maintain the level, maintain the intensity, maintain the standard that Flick's system demands. Right now, Barcelona do not have that at left back. And that is the problem this video is about. Let us talk about the current options, because understanding what Barcelona have right now makes the Grimaldo conversation much clearer. Alejandro Balde, when fit, is Barcelona's first choice at left back. He is 22 years old. He is quick, aggressive in the tackle, dangerous going forward, and has all the raw qualities you want in a modern fullback. The issue is not his quality. The issue is his availability. Because a player who keeps going down at the same time every season, who keeps missing the biggest matches because of recurring injury problems, creates a reliability issue that no manager at this level can afford to ignore. And Flick, to his enormous credit, is not ignoring it. Joel Canelo has been the solution in the short term. And credit where it is due, Canelo has been excellent when called upon. His assist against Rayo Vallecano tonight was exactly the kind of contribution that wins tight matches. A key pass, a cross into the box, a moment of quality that separates a draw from 3 points. That is what Canelo brings. But Canelo cannot play every game to 90 minutes. He cannot be the answer to every problem in every match for the rest of the season and into next. That is too much to ask of any player, and it is particularly too much to ask of a player who is also covering other positions within the squad. The depth simply is not there. And when you are playing one match every 3 days, Champions League, La Liga, Copa del Rey, the relentless calendar of a top European club competing on every front, depth is not a luxury. It is survival. So Deco and Flick sat down. They looked at the problem honestly. They identified the position that needed reinforcing, and they identified their solution. His name is Alejandro Grimaldo. He is 30 years old. He plays for Bayer Leverkusen. He left Barcelona's academy years ago without ever getting his chance at the first team. And this summer, he is coming back. Before we get into what Grimaldo brings to this Barcelona side, let us talk about something that a lot of people overlook when they discuss this deal. The financial side. Because Barcelona's financial situation has been a major talking point for the past couple of years, and any significant signing needs to make sense, not just on the pitch, but in the accounts. This is where the Grimaldo deal becomes genuinely extraordinary. His release clause at Bayer Leverkusen is 20 million euros. That is already not a significant number for a player of his quality and experience. But the expected actual transfer fee this summer, based on everything coming out of both clubs, is somewhere between 6 and 7 million euros. 6 to 7 million. For a player who has 23 goal contributions in 38 matches this season. For a player who is one of the most productive fullbacks in European football right now. For a player who can walk into Barcelona's starting 11 and immediately improve them. And here is why the fee is so low. Grimaldo's contract at Leverkusen runs until 2027. He is not looking to renew. The club knows this. Leverkusen signed him for free from Benfica. So whatever they receive this summer is pure profit for them. Their president, Fernando Caro, is a Barcelona associate, someone who understands the club, who has a relationship with the institution, and who is willing to work constructively on a deal. And, Leverkusen are, right now, a selling club. They are not in a position to demand top dollar for a player who has 1 year left on his contract and no intention of extending it. The math is simple. Barcelona get a world-class fullback for 6 or 7 million euros with a salary that fits within their financial structure. This is not just a good deal. This is the kind of deal that in 3 years people will look back at and call one of the shrewdest pieces of business Barcelona have done in a long time. And then there is Joel Canelo. Barcelona are expected to sign him permanently, also for a very low fee. So in one summer, for a combined outlay that most clubs would spend on a single average player, Barcelona could secure both left-back positions with 2 genuinely high-quality options. The financial logic is undeniable. Now let us talk about what Grimaldo actually brings to this team, because the financial argument is compelling. But the footballing argument is even better. Grimaldo is 30 years old and he is having one of the best seasons of his career. 12 goals and 11 assists in 38 matches. 23 goal contributions. Read that again. 23 goal contributions from a left back. That is not a defensive player who occasionally contributes going forward. That is an attacking weapon operating from a defensive position. A player who changes matches, who creates danger, who scores and assists at a rate that most wingers would be proud of, and he is improving. His previous season at Leverkusen, 4 goals and 12 assists, was already excellent. This season, he has already surpassed that goal tally and is tracking to match or exceed his assist numbers. He needs 7 more assists in 10 or 11 remaining matches to surpass his best ever season statistically. That is absolutely within reach for a player in the form he is currently in. Now let us compare him directly to Alejandro Balde, because this is where the conversation gets really interesting and where I want to be very clear about something. This comparison is not about saying Balde is finished. This is not an argument for selling Balde. Balde is 22 years old and has enormous potential. The comparison is simply about understanding what Grimaldo brings and why having both of them, not choosing between them, but having both, makes Barcelona genuinely stronger. In almost every attacking and creative metric, Grimaldo leads. Chance creation, key passes, crosses into the box, progressive carries forward. In areas where you measure how much a fullback contributes to the attack, Grimaldo is the better player right now. His experience, his maturity, his understanding of when to go and when to hold, his delivery from wide areas. These are qualities that have been refined over a decade of high-level European football. Balde edges Grimaldo in successful tackles per 90 and successful dribbles per 90. And that tells you something important about the kind of player Balde is. He is dynamic, aggressive, a 1-versus-1 player who can beat his man and win the ball back with intensity. That is his game. And it is a valuable game. At 22, with those raw qualities already at this level, the ceiling for Balde is enormous. Think about Jordi Alba. He arrived at Barcelona at 23 years old, 1 year older than Balde is right now. And he went on to become one of the greatest left backs in Barcelona's history, one of the greatest left backs in the history of Spanish football. The trajectory for a talented young fullback who is patient, who works, who learns alongside quality players, that trajectory can go to extraordinary places. There is no reason why Balde cannot follow that same path. But, and this is the crucial point, Balde's development does not require Grimaldo to leave. It requires Grimaldo to arrive, because having Grimaldo in the squad gives Flick genuine options. It gives Balde time to develop without carrying the entire burden of the left-back position through a campaign of one match every 3 days. It gives Barcelona depth in a position that has exposed them at the worst possible moments this season. And it gives Flick exactly what his system demands: healthy competition, quality rotation, and multiple genuine options in every position. Let us talk about what this Barcelona defensive structure could look like next season. Because when you lay it all out, when you see all the pieces together, it is actually a genuinely impressive defensive setup for a team with the ambitions that Flick, Laporta, and Deco have for this club. At right back, the options would be Jules Kounde, Eric Garcia, and Xavi Alonso. Kounde, when fit, remains one of the best right backs in Europe. His quality on the ball, his ability to defend 1-versus-1, his contribution in build-up play, these are elite level qualities. And the conversation about whether he might be sold this summer, whether there are clubs willing to pay significant money for him, is one we will address separately. But my position is clear. Selling Kounde would be a mistake. He is reliable, he is quality, and the depth question applies to his position just as much as it applies to left back. At left back, with Grimaldo arriving and Canelo signed permanently alongside Balde when he returns to fitness, Barcelona would have 3 legitimate options at that position. 3 players who can play, who can contribute, who can handle the physical demands of Flick's system without breaking down. At center back, the picture's equally interesting. Barca and Araujo on the right side of the defensive line. Inigo Martinez, who has been outstanding and whose move to left center back has been one of the smartest decisions Flick has made this season, and Bastoni on the left side. And let us not forget that Kounde, Canelo, and others can slot into different positions within the defensive structure, depending on what the match demands. This is a defensive setup built for a team that wants to win everything. Not just La Liga, not just the Champions League, everything. And the foundation of that ambition is depth. Real depth. Quality depth. The kind of depth that means when Balde goes down in March, the level does not drop. When Kounde is carrying a muscle problem, someone else steps in and the team does not miss a beat. That is what Flick is building. And Grimaldo is a critical piece of it. There is one more thing I want to address before we wrap up. Because every time this conversation comes up, every time someone suggests that Barcelona need more defenders, more depth, more players in the squad, there is a counter-argument that follows immediately. The minutes argument. The rotation argument. The idea that if you sign too many players, nobody gets enough playing time, nobody stays sharp, nobody is happy, and the whole thing falls apart. And I understand that argument. It sounds logical. It sounds sensible. On the surface, it makes sense. But look at what is happening right now. Right this moment, Barcelona are missing 4 defenders simultaneously. 4. Kounde and Balde are out. Christensen has been unavailable for months. Huff Farron is injured. Eric Garcia could not play tonight because he was also carrying a problem. That is 5 defenders at various points this season unavailable at the same time. In that context, with those numbers in front of you, can you really tell me that having Grimaldo, Canelo, Balde, Kounde, Martinez, Cubarsí, Araujo, Bastoni, Eric Garcia, and Xabi Alonso is too many defenders? In a system where the intensity demands are extraordinary, in a season where you are playing every 3 days across 4 competitions, in a squad where Flick rotates consistently because his model depends on players being fresh, sharp, and physically ready to execute at the highest level, the depth is not excess. The depth is the plan. The depth is what allows Flick's system to function properly across a full season rather than burning out in February and March when the biggest matches are coming. And the beauty of this particular piece of depth, the beauty of the Grimaldo signing specifically, is that it costs almost nothing. 6 or 7 million euros for a player with 23 goal contributions this season. A player who left Barcelona's academy and has spent years becoming one of the best left backs in European football. A player who is desperate to return to Spain, who has always admired this club, whose salary fits comfortably within Barcelona's financial structure. This is not a complicated deal. This is not a transfer saga that will drag on through the summer with complicated negotiations and escalating demands. Leverkusen want to sell. Grimaldo wants to leave. Barcelona want him. The fee is low, the salary is manageable. The president of Leverkusen is a Barcelona associate who will work constructively on this deal. The only question is whether Barcelona and Grimaldo can reach a personal agreement. And from everything coming out right now, that is not a significant obstacle. Grimaldo returning to Barcelona is not just a transfer story. It is a full circle moment. A player who left La Masia without getting his chance, who went to Portugal, developed, became elite, moved to Germany, became one of the best in the Bundesliga. And now at 30 years old, at the peak of his powers, with 23 goal contributions already this season, he is coming back, not as a young prospect hoping for an opportunity, as a proven, experienced, elite-level fullback who brings exactly what this Barcelona side needs. Goals, assists, creativity from deep, the ability to function at the highest level in a high-intensity system, and the maturity, the professional maturity that comes from years of top-level European football, to handle the demands of playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world. Flick will have Grimaldo on the left, Carmelo on the right, Balde developing underneath them, Kounde anchoring the other flank. The defensive structure that Flick and Deco are building for next season is ambitious, comprehensive, and if the injury gods cooperate even slightly more than they have this year, genuinely formidable. Barcelona have suffered this season because of a left-back problem that should have been addressed earlier. 4 defenders out at once. Crucial matches approaching. The same position, the same player, the same injury, the same timing as 12 months ago. This summer, Deco is making sure it does not happen a third time. And the solution he has identified is walking around Leverkusen right now with 12 goals and 11 assists to his name, a contract that expires in 2027, and no intention whatsoever of renewing it. Grimaldo is coming home, and Barcelona are going to be better for it. If you made it to the end of this one, thank you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Grimaldo is the right signing? Do you think Balde should be sold to make room? Do you think Barcelona's defensive depth next season will finally be good enough to sustain a title challenge on every front? I want to know what you think. Like the video if you got value from it. Subscribe if this is the kind of Barcelona content you want to see more of. And we will see you in the next one.